average 22-year-old, a pioneer for women referees in rugby league. Sarah has not only been the first female to referee a championship game, she also recently became the first female to ref a full international. Keen to find out more about Sarah's career on the touchline, she invited me along to tackle one of her training sessions. This isn't a usual route, is it, for a woman? And you are one of the first female officials in rugby league. How did you get into it?
I used to referee football because I always wanted to play football when I was like sort of 15, 16. And in Bradford there wasn't an age group for me to play. So they put me on a football referees course. But I didn't really enjoy it. And then I was in sixth form one day, and because I've been watching rugby league, I saw there was a course for match officials, so I just decided to email and find out. Went and did it and never looked back.
Is it something you'd encourage other women to do?
Yeah, because it's like, it is something that you probably have to be interested in doing. So I would say if there's females out there who want to get involved in rugby league but don't want to play the game, then it's a good way to get involved.
And to keep fit.
Yeah.
I can't even breathe at the minute. So, where are you taking me next?
To the ab crunches.
Oh good, I need my abs doing. Has being a referee then changed your viewpoint of the game?
Obviously I used to just go and support it. And then as soon as I took the referees course, the next game I went to, I never watched it in the same manner.
I suppose you can't enjoy it, can you? You're always analysing everything.
Yeah, every game. It's just a case of analysing the whole game. I'll watch, and if a referee makes a decision, I'll be watching that decision rather than watching and going with the crowd, going, oh, it's not that, or oh, is that, or...
See, I bet you're a nightmare to go with, aren't you now?
I think so. But I think my dad enjoys it because he can at least turn to me and go, was that right? And I'll go, yeah, and he'll go, fair enough. So he's not as in the way, but if you want to...
Oh, you're giving me a go now. I thought I'd got away with it then. Right, ab cruncher. A lot of referees have come under a lot of stick, haven't they, recently, particularly with forward passes. Do you think that's justified then?
I must admit, I think the forward pass is one of the worst things to pick up on. Because as a referee, if you're on your own, because like some games when I'm on an amateur game, I don't have anyone on the sides with me, so I'm in the middle on my own. And it's a case of I've got to get from the 10-metre line in line with the passes to be able to pick up on them. But if you've got touch judges, they're the ones that should be picking up on them for you to be able to look at and get the input.
So we're human beings and everyone makes mistakes. Do you think something should be brought into the game, though, to make the right decision?
I think, because the thing with the forward passes, as they've always said, it is a hard one to judge, and on a camera it could look forward, but it's not actually forward. So it's one of them things that it can only be done during the game, I think. I don't think they can bring out in for that one.
Do you feel under double scrutiny then, being a woman and being a referee?
With some people, I'd say probably yes, because you have got some people who probably don't like females in the rugby game. I know I've come across that before, where you've got these people that are probably stuck in their old ways and they prefer it to be a man on a man's game. But apart from that, a majority of people, I don't think me being a woman does affect it. So it is just purely they'll look at me as a referee like they do with everybody else.
Dad's always looking out for daughter as well, isn't he, I imagine?
Yeah.
So I bet that's playing on your mind a bit.
Yeah, it does during the game, like especially when I was at junior games and parents used to be on the back of me as a referee. I always worried about if my dad would actually go over and say something to somebody. So it was quite a worry, but nowadays he tends to behave at games.
Dads can be embarrassing, can't they?
Yeah.
At the best of times. This way. So which has been the most important game to date you've refereed?
Up until the weekend, I think the most important games were probably when I did my first championship touch judge line. And then at the weekend, the referee went down, became ill. So at half time I had to go on and actually referee a championship one game. Never done that level, so...
Were you nervous?
Very.
But you felt a bit sick, didn't you?
I think I got around the game mostly on adrenaline.
I mean, I suppose that's what you've been waiting for, is for that moment. And I suppose the best way is just to
get thrown in.
To just get thrown in the deep end.
Yeah, it has. I think it is a big step. But like they say, quite a few referees have become top referees from being thrown in at the deep end. So all I can wait and see to see what comes from it, maybe.
Can I stop now? Do you think there's lack of opportunities then for women as officials in the sport as a whole, not just rugby league, because rugby league is flexible to it, but the sport as a whole, do you think it's something should be addressed?
I think sometimes it could be in the refereeing sense, because like I say, I took it up in football, but there was a lack of communication and development, so I never really got anywhere in the football because nobody contacted me, nobody tried to get me involved. So that was when I decided, well, I'm going to knock this on the head because there's nothing there for it. So I think it is something that could be addressed.
Well, what is it you get out of it? When you wake up in the morning, you know you've got to go and do a match. What are the feelings you get?
I don't know really, I just like to go out and do it. I don't know whether it's the fact that I can go out and boss around 26 men on a field and they've got to listen to me or not, but
which is always a good thing.
It's always a good thing. But no, I enjoy, I think it's just the physical capabilities of it and the fact that it's involvement in rugby league, which obviously I've supported for a long time, but I've never wanted to play it. So it's actually got me involved in the game without playing it.
Keith, we need to make sure we're working these 10s, get right back to me. Both wingers and centres are both offside all the time.
You're from Bradford, aren't you? Yeah. So there's no guessing which team you support, Bradford Bulls. Are you allowed to actually follow a team though, being a referee?
As far as I know, yes. There's nothing against, because I think most referees that I know, they do have their own team. So it's that whole, if you get up into the professional ranks, you're going to be unbiased when you get up there and you're going to act professional.
But imagine refereeing on Derby Day.
Yeah, I must admit, I think that would be an absolute amazing opportunity to do. But I still think it'd still be the professional side of it. I wouldn't allow it to affect me, I don't think.
How would you feel about your family and your friends in the stands though?
I'd like to think they'd be supportive, but then again, it is that whole in the heat of the moment, you could be anything. Because I must admit, I was on the line on these Carnegie 9s that they've just been doing, and I was up at Bradford Bulls. So even though that was only really their under-18 squad that was out, my dad, my stepmom, and her sister were all in the stands, and I could hear them actually shouting because it was quite a quiet atmosphere. But they never shouted at me, so I was quite happy.
So you wouldn't get home and your dad would be giving you stick?
No, I don't think so. He'd probably question stuff, but
Dad, I'm doing a job.
Yeah.
Like you've taken me training for a triathlon today. Is this what you have to do to be a referee?
This is what I think I have to do, because obviously everyone else trains differently. And for me, this sort of thing's just my fitness and the cardio side of it. But then for strength and agility, I've still got to go and do stuff out on the field.
Yeah. And
like out on the fields close by and uphill sprinting and stuff like that, just to keep me going.
So other than keeping on top of your fitness, what else would you advise to maybe youngsters wanting to become a referee?
I think the first step is just going out and doing the course. So like I paid, I think £12.50 and went and did the course. And it was like a 2-day thing, and they actually gave you the rule book to go home and do the exam with. So I don't know whether that's actually right, but you couldn't get a question wrong technically. So they want you to pass. So it's one of them steps that you're not going on it to be grilled, you're going on it to get in to be a referee, and then the next step then is getting into sort of like a society to then get you out on your games.
Do you think it was hard for you to be able to make the break to actually get work as a referee?
I think so, because I must admit the first 3 years I didn't really do anything apart from junior games, and then I moved society to Dewsbury and Batley, which is where I'm at now. And then since then, that's when I've started to go do open age games, and I've moved up the ranks quite quickly because I've been noticed.
How is it being a woman in a male-dominated game?
I think that one of the main things is when I go out to a game and it's the first time the guys have ever been refereed by a female, they look at me and they say, "What do we call you?" Because they're used to calling the referee sir throughout a game. So being one of the only women coming up through it, I've turned around and said to him, "You can call me Sarah, you can call me ref, but throughout the game you're probably going to call me sir and I'm not going to get offended." So it's that whole, I've decided to come into the male dominated side of it, so I'm not going to try and make them change what they call me.
So you've not said I'd like to be called lady?
No. I must admit, one thing is they say, "Do we call you miss?" and I say no because it makes me feel like a teacher and I don't want to feel like that, so I tell them they can call me by my first name or they can just call me sir.
How are the players with you?
The majority of the players are really, really good. They'll respect me, they'll listen to me, they won't argue. And I must admit, like when you do get heated games that sometimes come into a fight, you'll always have 1 or 2 players that straight away go, "Come on guys, stop it, stop it." we've got a lady referee, we don't want to be fighting in front of her, let's get on with the game. So I guess you don't always get that in some games, so I must admit the players do tend to give me a lot more respect.
Quite gentlemanly.
Yes.
What about the fans?
The fans vary, I think. I must admit I don't hear what the fans say, but I have been told stories. And there's some fans that will just abuse me just because I'm a female referee. And then there's some fans that are actually open to see it happen.
What's your viewpoint on it then? Do you take this as, you know, that you're the first woman to achieve so much in rugby league as a referee? Do you think it's your role to be a role model and a pioneer in this for women?
Like I've spoken to some of the other females that are coming through it now down at the amateur game, and they said they have seen me as a role model to them. So I guess I am, but I'm like an up and coming one, so I'm still not there quite. But out of the few things that I have done, I guess I would be.
Well, you're only 22. You know, you've achieved so much. What is next for Sarah Bennison?
I think the next step's going to be to get as high as I can in the refereeing. So it might be quite a few years down the line because I'm still only young. But hopefully maybe I can one day be a referee on Super League.
Maybe Bradford versus Leeds.
Maybe.
That would be your dream game.
Definitely.
An ambitious goal from a determined woman. She may still have a way to go, but at this rate, don't be surprised to see Sarah Bennison bossing around the best from the Super League in the near future.